stunning waterfalls, cliffside beaches, and trendy cafes. 3 of the many things Bali is known for. This island is beautiful, fun, and the place everyone wants to be right now. From rice terraces to beach clubs and everything in between, this is the video I wish I had before coming to Bali. The first area we're heading to is Canggu, and the best way to get there is by Grab or Gojek, which is like Uber. You have to head across the street from the airport to the booths that say Gojek, which is the one I find to be cheaper usually, and you'll get your car there. It takes over an hour to get there because traffic is really heavy and it costs about 2,200 Indonesian rupiah. So just checked into our spot in Canggu and it's in the main area. What you'll find here is that a lot of the streets are kind of all vertical, so to get anywhere you basically have to go up to the main street and then go back down instead of just being able to cut across. So it is pretty annoying to get around, but we are in the main area, which is really nice. So tired because the flight, we've been up for I think 46 hours, maybe even over 50 hours in a row, but you know we're gonna keep going until nighttime. So from the place we just made it out to Batu Balong Beach. Bunch of people surfing there. I'm probably gonna join them. Sunset's coming up soon. We both just did a good old surf. It was actually pretty cheap, 80,000 Indonesian rupee for the hour. This is the perfect beach also if you're a beginner to just learn and try out surfing. The waves are pretty small. So if you haven't surfed yet and you want to try it out, this is the perfect spot to do it here. We're now at a restaurant called Penny Lane, which was actually voted the most Instagrammable restaurant. The prices are like more Western here. They're a bit more expensive than typical Bali places. But we got a Blame Canada burger to share, which is like an Aussie patty, some American cheese, poutine on the burger, crispy AF bacon it says, and maple aioli. Super interesting taste. It's very good though actually. The burger was alright. I'm gonna say it's B tier, but Penny Lane is definitely a really cool spot. Just a really nice aesthetic. And get there early because it fills up really quickly. We quickly stopped into a bazaar called Love Anchor, but we found it to be pretty overpriced for the quality, so we didn't get anything. For dinner, we're eating at Warung Bumi, which is just a spot, like all these warungs are just kind of spots where you pick what you want to order and then you order them. It's just local Indonesian food. You make your own plate basically and then you eat it. We got some mie goreng and some chicken skewers. Honestly, just a quick, cheap, easy meal to have. It was 36,000 and I'm gonna say this is a B tier. So I heard that getting Bali belly is really common here, which basically just means food poisoning, but it's called Bali belly because it's so common here. We're gonna try to avoid it as much as possible. But I did read a lot of tips and tricks on how to avoid it, so we'll see if we can avoid it. The best way to avoid it is by liking this video, and if you subscribe, you're basically immune to it. So also I heard this place, Cinnamon Bali, has the best cinnamon buns in all of Bali. So we just got a quick order off Gojek. This app is literally amazing. We've been getting like rides all around Canggu today for just 10K, basically anywhere you want to go in Canggu. The price for the cinnamon bun and the delivery all the way here, which is like a 20-minute delivery, is 40K.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. These are actually as good as they say they are. It's actually so delicious. Wow. Such an amazing cinnamon bun. Honestly, I would eat that so much more if I lived here in Bali. Probably gonna put that in S tier. But we're gonna go to sleep. We've been awake for like 50 hours straight, so it's a very early night, but I just want to sleep as much as possible. So see you in the morning. So the thing that Bali does best is breakfast, and started off the morning with an amazing breakfast at a place called Copenhagen. Bali's probably like the furthest thing from Copenhagen, but
They had such an amazing matcha latte. Everything tasted so fresh and so delicious. Really good breakfast.
What was your favorite thing on the spread though?
Probably the smoothie bowl.
Yeah, I like the smoothie bowl. The waffle is actually delicious. The chocolate in there is so good.
Yeah, the waffle was so good.
Highly recommended spot. It's pretty popular, so get there earlier because you might have to wait in line. So it's Sunday today and we're here at La Brisa Market. There's also a bunch of different Sunday markets here, so just going around there. Got myself a nice little linen shirt from here. Katya got a nice clip. But it's a fun activity to do on a Sunday. If you are here in Canggu, there's so many markets open, so I would definitely recommend it. Now we're trying out a scooter. So funny thing is, we went to one place and we told them it's first time ever driving a scooter and they wouldn't give it to us. So then we went to another and he finally let us have it. So scooter rentals are about 70K if you take it for the day. First time riding a scooter on the Bali streets, pretty hectic, but it's fun. All right, so it's our first time getting scooters. In Bali's the first spot we've tried it. We went around a bit, honestly, it's not too bad. The hardest part is like the 3-point turns or just stopping, but once you're flowing, and just make sure you have good balance. A bike is probably better practice than a car, to be honest, for this. So if you know how to ride a bike well, you should be okay. One of the popular temples to visit here in Canggu is called Tanah Lot. Beautiful temple right on the water. And it's actually popular too in Balinese mythology, where they say that venomous snakes guard the water, which is enough to keep me from touching the water, that's for sure. I saw a spider once swimming in the water and that scared me. And the entrance into here is 75,000 rupiah. There's no way I'm holding that snake. It's a beautiful temple to see, but the water levels were really high, so we couldn't go to the actual temple. Other than seeing the temple, there isn't too much to do here. So another really big thing to do in Bali is go to beach clubs, and we're at a spot now. It's a free beach club here in Bali, free entry. You just have to pay for like cabanas if you want them, but you can enter fully for free, and it's called Finn's Beach Club. One of the coolest experiences to do, especially since it's free. Anyone can get in and it's just so much fun. It's always a vibe there. The music's really good. Definitely highly recommend going to Finn's Beach Club. Now we just went into a yoga class. It's at a place called Samdi, right beside where the Sunday market is. And we're gonna try it out. It's just 140,000 rupiah. Canggu and just Bali in general is really known for it. Yoga and just gyms and fitness. So why not do some yoga when we're in Bali? Now we're going to a place to eat for dinner called K&A Grill. Really excited for this spot. It has pretty cheap food and it's just good looking meat. That was such a delicious meal. Definitely the chicken satay, one of the best meals I've had. Definitely deserves an S tier. And I'd highly recommend coming here. It was 150K for those two things. Canggu is definitely a lot more local and has more Balinese life than it is in Seminyak or Kuta, which is really nice. And honestly, Canggu is just a great spot, like a great spot to live. You've got a lot of gyms and just fitness centers here, and then just like getting around, some nice markets, so many cafes. It's definitely a great living area, I would say, is Canggu.
Yeah, it looks like it's a great place for anyone who works remotely. There's so many opportunities, like Michael said, like there's cafes and stuff with internet. It's just such a nice place to live.
But we're heading off to Ubud next. And the really great thing about Bali too is that ordering transport is just so cheap. We're heading to Ubud, which is about an hour journey from here, and it's only about 115K to get there by Gojek. Alright, so we got another bike today. This one's a lot more powerful than the one yesterday. A little bit scared, but we're ready to go. Always make sure you're wearing protection. So we're starting off with the famous Tagalalang Rice Terrace, and this is why you come at sunrise, because there's literally nobody here, and I hear it gets so busy. And there's also like a popular scam I heard about here where people will charge you, but you actually, the entrance was free to get in, and just the views of here are insane. Such a great way to start the morning. Just a beautiful little hike here. Saw the biggest spider ever, and I highly recommend coming here at sunrise because I've seen videos of this place later on in the day and it gets absolutely packed. You basically have everything to yourself here if you come at sunrise.
And it's so serene and peaceful just walking around amongst nature. It's so beautiful.
Also, if you do come a bit late and the sun is already up, the photos of the valley don't look the same at all. It doesn't have like that beautiful green color that it does when the sun isn't up yet. Next spot we're at right now is the Kampuhan Ridge Walk, which is just like a nice little beautiful walk within nature, and it's supposed to have a really nice view at the top. And at the top, your prize for finishing this is a bunch of gift shops and restaurants. And now we're also trying a classic Indonesian nasi goreng. I'd say that nasi goreng was probably a C tier. Wasn't too bad, but not something I'd try again. Hopefully we have some better ones later on. And in the center of Ubud, there's an Ubud market. Basically all the same stuff that you would find at like all the markets here in Bali. But one thing I've noticed about these markets though is the prices are a lot more expensive than you would think, because it's tough for tourists to convert the price right away to their local currency. So they always upcharge. Like when you ask for a shot glass at first, they start off with like 300,000, which is an outrageous price for a shot glass. And now we're on our way to probably one of the most popular things to do here in Bali. One of the things everyone thinks of when they think of Bali, and that is the monkey forest. We're literally witnessing a war going on right now between them. This is insane. Definitely one of the most fun experiences. It was so cool seeing all the monkeys in there.
Yeah, it was such an amazing experience just to be there with the monkeys and not have like a barrier.
It's so cool too. A lot of the times they'll just jump on you or just like go around you.
Yeah, and it's amazing just being there with them, everyone all together instead of there being a barrier. You just feel very connected. We went back to our hotel now because we're doing something that me and Michael were both looking forward to. We got a floating breakfast.
Most of the time at any hotel you get, especially in Ubud, you can order a floating breakfast. Most hotels offer the service, but there's also a service you can offer it from the outside. It's usually going to be more expensive though. The one we got from here is 300,000. It was a really fun experience. It's definitely much harder to eat it in the pool, but I definitely recommend it just for the experience. It's pretty fun to have one of these.
A few moments later.
Now we're just trapped in some rain on a scooter. No rain jackets with us. Not the place you want to be. Finally, we made it. But one of the coolest tours we've done so far is a chocolate tour in Colombia where we explored a chocolate plantation, got some chocolate. So now we're going to be doing the same. So we're here at Cow Chocolates in central Bali. It's actually pretty cool. They go through the entire process of how chocolate is made, and it's actually completely different cocoa than the one in Colombia. So a different process entirely. We got to try the insides of it too, and surprisingly they taste like mangosteen. Very sweet. Nothing like what I thought it would taste like. Just made it back into Ubud now, and we're going to get some ribs for dinner. The ribs were really good, and I recommend trying this spot, but I still think the ones in Canggu were better, so I'm gonna say A tier for these. It's way too early for this. So the reason we're up this early is because you need to finish the hike by 6. So pickup usually on these tours start around 2 a.m., 2:30 a.m. And in Ubud right now we're getting picked up at 2:30. It's a bit over an hour drive from where we're staying in Ubud to get to the area where the hike starts. 4 a.m. start to the hike. Gotta get to the top by like 6 to catch sunrise. There's a lot of people doing this hike, so it's clearly really popular. Hopefully the views will be incredible at the top. While hiking up, we also saw some lava remains from the last time the volcano erupted in 2000. About a 2-hour hike to the top. It's just hiking a pretty steep up the whole way, but you get here at sunrise and it's just beautiful. views are absolutely insane. Was it worth the climb?
I think so.
Watching sunrise up here is such a stunning experience. It really is insane to see it rise above the clouds and volcanoes, and you can see some smoke coming up from the actual volcano you're on too. We also got a breakfast at the top, and after that we climbed down. The next spot we went to is a hot spring. Honestly, more of a tourist grab than anything, but it's part of the tour, so it's pretty nice to just sit here and relax. Right after, we went to a Uluwatu coffee farm and tried some samples. This one might have been the biggest tourist scam. I would definitely suggest finding another spot to try some Uluwatu coffee than the one on this tour because it's not worth it at all. Now we're here in central Ubud and we're going to a place called Blend Cafe to get some famous Bali smoothie bowls. Katya's been raving about having some for a while.
I'm so excited.
Definitely deserves the S tier. Another day and another rainfall to avoid. Same time again, it's like 3 p.m. and now we're close to Sidamen. We're about to do some jewelry making, so we're just driving up to where we're going, but we got stuck under some big rains. So now we're here waiting for some more rain to pass. The silver jewelry making was such an amazing experience. You go through the entire process of melting it from silver and designing it into a ring. We went to Agung Silver to do this and it was 350,000 rupiah. It's really cool because it's a hands-on experience and you get to keep your rings too. And now we have our matching rings. And now just beside this place is the Sidamen Rice Terrace. So we're here now. It's a much more low-key rice terrace than the Galalang, but the area is definitely much bigger. So if you want to see the rice terraces and you don't want to get up at sunrise, but you want to miss the crowd, then Sidamen is where you would go. It's also not a tourist trap at all. It's just like a pure area where they're doing work here. You won't need to pay anything here.
Yeah, lots of local people live here and you're just walking by saying hi as they're doing their daily routines.
This is nasi kampung. It's a mix of a bunch of Indonesian food. We got red rice right there. It's cooked without sugar. Such a delicious meal we had just now. We went to a place called In the Garden and it had home-cooked Indonesian food and all the food was A tier. Like, it was delicious. Definitely recommend it. They make it all natural, very healthy food. And it was a great way to end off a nice dinner and day in Ubud. But another early rise for tomorrow morning too. Now we have another early morning because we're gonna go and witness a beautiful sunrise somewhere else. So the spot we're now at is Ulu Danu Bratan Temple, which is a really important temple here in Bali, and it was built in 1633 and used for offerings to the Balinese water goddess because Lake Bratan was the main source of watering crop in Ubud and on the island. Entry fee into here is 75,000 rupiah and you get entrance to the whole grounds as well as the main temple. This temple is also significant because when one of the massive eruptions happened in Mount Batur, the lava was destroying everything, but it stopped right at the walls of the temple and left it completely unharmed. Very beautiful and peaceful area to watch, especially at sunrise. We did miss sunrise a bit, but you can come here earlier and watch the sunrise, take a nice little boat out on the lake beside the temple. Now we're doing one of the things that Bali is most known for, and that's hitting up some waterfalls. The first one we're going to is Git Waterfall. It's about 30 minutes north of where we went on a very twisty, turny road, but let's go check it. so much bigger than I thought. It's so beautiful. This is definitely a big time hidden gem. There's no people here, no parking fee, no entry fee. Gigi waterfall is so beautiful too. Unfortunately, because of the rain the last 2 days, we weren't able to see a lot of the waterfalls we wanted to see because it rained for like 2 to 3 hours right at the times that we were planning to see them. But luckily we did get to see this one beautiful one. I have a lot of them saved in my Google Maps, so in my description I'll leave all of my map pins below so you can just download them. It'll be for all of Bali, so like all the best restaurants, all the waterfalls and everything else that we did. I'll have the map pins for all of that, so just check the description, download that. It's fully free, and just enjoy your exploring of Bali. And some of the waterfalls that we wanted to see are so beautiful. I'm really sad we had to miss out on those, but they're all going to be in the map pins, so hopefully you guys can see those. Let me know which ones you like the most too. So we stopped at one more waterfall because we're able to see one more waterfall on our way back. Now we're at Leke water. Another really beautiful waterfall here. This one's more of a photo spot than it is like for swimming. You can swim, but great photos here. And this one costs 50,000 to get in. So now we're making our way from Ubud to Sanur to get onto the boat for Nusa Penida. So the best way to do this is probably just to get a taxi so you can put all your luggages in there. You need like a Gojek car or Grab car. These cost around 100, 110 rupiah to get there. So now we're at Sanur Harbor, which is where all the boats take off to get to Nusa Penida. So here we are waiting for our boat, about 100,000 Indonesian rupees. So we just made it now, arrived in Nusa Lembongan at Mushroom Bay Beach. Took that boat right there, and now we're here. Takes about 30 minutes from Sanur in Bali, so not too long of a boat ride. He's doing all the heavy lifting. The beach itself is so beautiful. The white sand is so nice, and then just beautiful blue waters. Great spot to just chill at the beach when you're coming here in Nusa Lembongan. Alright, so we've been wanting to try this fruit durian for a while. It's known as the world's stinkiest fruit. We tried to buy it at a market one time, but they just laughed at us, so we just bought some other fruits. But we got some durian ice cream, so
Let's give it a try.
not bad. Very strong though. Still tastes like tropical fruit. So we checked into our hotel and then we walked like 5 minutes to get to this place called Devil's Tears. Tears are actually cool and it's a great sunset spot, but very cloudy days, so we might get unlucky and just miss out on it. Devil's Tears has some really stunning views of the water and the beautiful cliff sides. It's a great spot to chill at in the evening. There's some good beach clubs and restaurants in this area too. On most days, you'd be able to see a nice sunset too, but unfortunately it's too cloudy for us to see a good one. So far from what I've noticed being here though, it's just more of a resort kind of island. There's like beaches, lots of beach clubs, restaurants, and just a bunch of resorts. It's a really chill island. If you get a scooter, it's pretty easy as well. So it's definitely just a nice island to chill here. Ended the day off with a great Balinese massage. Definitely the best way to end a day off. We're making our way now to Yellow Bridge Harbor, which is where the boats from Nusa Lembongan go to Nusa Penida. And now we're heading onto the boat, which was 50,000 per person. It takes about 15 minutes to get to Nusa Penida. And now we're here at Banjar New Harbor, and we're gonna go find a spot to rent a scooter. We got a scooter from a random guy just walking around. Don't spend more than 100,000 rupiah on these. So just pulled up. The riding conditions are pretty intense, like getting down to the beach, but the main roads are okay. It's definitely doable on a scooter. Luckily there wasn't that much car traffic, but you just have to be ready to stop and just wait for people sometimes. And now we've arrived at the famous Kelingking Beach, and honestly, it looks so much cooler than I would have imagined. This way down, so insane. It's just like rocks and a really steep downhill climb. Not excited to do this on the way up. That was actually one of the craziest hikes I've done. The way down is just so intense. You're climbing basically a cliffside. They've made a little bit of stairs on it. Very steep, takes a while, but then you get this nice and beautiful beach right behind me. My shirt is absolutely soaked like water. The waves are way too big here for a swim, but we're still gonna chill here anyways because we're all sweaty. And now, the journey up. The way up is definitely so much more intense. Just drenched in sweat, but honestly it is faster.
It was one of the most intense beach days ever.
But you definitely do have to come early because now the lines are getting really bad, even just for photos. I wouldn't recommend going all the way down to Kalinking Beach, especially if you're pressed for time, because there's lots of other really cool things you can do here, like checking out the Manta Ray Beach. So we just stopped at a restaurant here. There's not much local food, like local restaurants on the way here. There was one, but it had nobody inside, so we just decided to go to one with more people. So we just ordered like a quick mee goreng and some calamari rings just to keep going. Haven't eaten for like 24 hours because we haven't been that hungry. It's just been so hot. In terms of scootering, the worst conditions are on the west side of the island. The east is much more developed with roads, and the main road is great to drive on. To end off our time, we went to the north part of the island to Penida Colada Beach Bar and just chilled for the rest of the day before heading back on the boat to Uluwatu. So we just made it to Uluwatu from Nusa Penida. We went out to some restaurant. So the restaurants here are actually pretty trendy, and the place we're at is called Disco Pizza Palace. Got some arancini. So we got a brisket pizza. The flavor of this pizza wasn't one of my favorite, to be honest. I feel like the other ones are better than this one, but this place is definitely a good spot, but I'm gonna have to rate it a B tier for this pizza. We got in later than we thought, so we just had time for dinner and now we're going to sleep, but tomorrow's gonna be a big day with a lot of beaches. And now, time to head out and check out some of the beaches. Hop on. So we were just looking for the roads to Balangan Beach, and when we're pulling up, there's like cows and everything, and it's just not even a road, it's like a dirt path, and that's actually the road you're supposed to take. So Google Maps just takes you on some really weird roads sometimes here in Bali. But we pulled up to Balangan Beach. Not as nice looking as we thought. We thought it would be one of the nicer ones, so we're gonna go check out some other ones. The beach we pulled up to now is called Padang Beach. You have to pay for this one. It's 15K per person, but it's a really beautiful beach, really nice views. The sand is perfect. It's a low tide so you can swim, but also if you swim out, there's a higher tide and you can surf. It's a beautiful beach, so we're probably gonna stay here for a while. Left the beach now, just swam, did some, beach activities, and now we're heading for brunch at a place called Chela. Alright, so here we got our food. We got an all or nothing. It comes with all of this food and an avocado toast. I've been wanting to eat that for a while since we got to Bali, so I'm so excited.
They literally couldn't have cooked this egg more perfectly. In the center, it's a little bit runny, and yet not too runny where it's spilling everywhere. Just perfect.
One of the best breakfasts I've ever had, honestly. It's so good. Definitely deserves a spot in the S tier.
Yeah, that was honestly so good. Every single level of that breakfast was so good.
Highly recommend this spot in Uluwatu. Now we made it down to another beach. This one's free this time. Nyang Nyang Beach. You don't have to pay for parking and you don't need to pay for entry. And this one's really nice. It has a nice shady spot to chill, and then you can swim, but you can't get fully in. The water's not deep enough like that, and you can't go out into the water. Now, time to walk up this massive hill and head out to one last beach for the day. So we just stopped by a beach called Puntai Nunggulan. You can see it's all the way down there. It's a pretty high cliff to get up there. It's kind of like Kelingking in Nusa Penida. So we decided not to go there because no one's swimming there anyways, and it doesn't look like you can swim. We just wanted a spot that we can swim, so we're gonna go to another one. I flew the drone up to check it out, and I didn't think it was worth the climb. We made a decision and decided it wasn't worth the climb, so we're going right back up. The one thing about driving around Uluwatu is the roads are probably just about as bad as Nusa Penida here, so you need to be a lot more careful when riding the scooter. And we decided to go back to Padang Padang Beach because this was definitely the nicest. Really nice sand, really clear water. Best one for swimming and for surfing. So we're gonna chill here until sunset. A bit more of a vibe now. This place has some live music and also some food, so really great spot. I'd say if you're in Uluwatu, Padang Padang Beach is the best one to go to. Now we're here at Korang Boma Cliff for one last sunset. The road to get here is absolutely insane. That was such a beautiful sunset. I can't get over these sunsets in Bali.
Yeah, definitely one of the best sunsets we've seen ever.
We went back home after, changed a bit, and now we're going out for dinner. So in Uluwatu, there's like one main strip where all the really nice restaurants are. So we're gonna go there, and we're just gonna choose one when we get there. So we decided to go to a place by the name of Uluwatu Fish Market. It looked like a really nice vibe, and it's a really nice vibe inside. And the food looks really good, good prices as well.
Cheers!
So we got a lot of food last night. We're just balling out. So we have our tacos, dragon rolls, mahi mahi fish. So delicious. Definitely recommend this one. And then tuna tartare. One of the most delicious meals I've had. Great way to end off the trip here in Bali. It was about 400,000 for 4 plates and 2 drinks. And this was definitely S tier. So that's basically it in terms of Ubud. When going out, there's one main street, and after that it's pretty silent, pretty dead around, so it's not as party style as Canggu is. So in terms of like the 3 areas, Uluwatu is the most chill. Lots of tourists here, lots of people living here. It's a nice area, the nicest beaches. I'd say Canggu is probably the place you want to be if you want to live. It has the most restaurants, cafes, good Wi-Fi.
Everything is super centrally located in Canggu too, so it's easy to get to everything.
And then Ubud is probably the best area if you just want a tourist here. You want to experience some more local Balinese life. I'd say Ubud is probably the coolest area.
Yeah.
But that's it for Bali. I really hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be traveling a lot more soon, I promise. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next one.